Welcome to the New Muslim Workshop. My name is Mahmoud, and in today's video we're going to discuss 5 ingredients that every Muslim should completely avoid when grocery shopping. Stick around.
Welcome to the New Muslim Workshop.
Welcome back. Ingredient number 1, non-halal food. Kind of obvious. However, this touches upon a whole number of things. So, as you might know, Muslims require to slaughter their livestock in a halal way, in a one that is permissible to Allah. So something that Allah has made permissible. And the word made permissible is halal. And the word non-permissible is haram. And so eating something that is not halal, by definition, is haram. And so any meats, if they are slaughtered in a way that is not consistent with Islamic doctrine, except kosher food. So kosher food is acceptable, halal food is acceptable. Either of these not available, we don't eat that. Okay? So any meats, chicken, beef, lamb, whatever else, if it's not slaughtered in accordance to the Islamic Sharia, in a halal, in something in a way that is permissible by Allah, then we cannot eat it and we should avoid it as much as possible. Number 2, gelatin. Most likely, if you're in a Western supermarket and you're shopping around and you pick up, let's say, some form of candy that contains gelatin, if it says beef gelatin or pork gelatin or just gelatin, you should avoid it because most likely not halal. And in many cases, as you know, Islamically, anything that is derived from an animal that is not slaughtered in accordance to the Sharia is not halal. We avoid that. We are not allowed to eat that. So number 2, gelatin. And gelatin can be found in anything that wobbles or is gelatinous. If we think about gummy bears, or if we think about those gummy snakes, or even Jello. So you have to be careful because if the Jello does not have the halal sign, and in many Middle Eastern countries you will find Jello that is made from halal gelatin, that animals that have been slaughtered in accordance to Islamic law, and as such, once the derived gelatin is used for that product, it's acceptable. So as much as possible, when you go shopping, try to go shopping in a Middle Eastern store. If you're in the States, if you're in Canada, if you're in Europe, or if you're in Australia, then go to your closest Middle Eastern store and look for Middle Eastern products, because most likely these products will be halal and you will be able to eat them. Number 3, obviously, is pork. So pork is haram in all its forms. It's not halal at all. It's not acceptable. You can't eat it. You can't eat ham. You can't eat bacon. You can't eat pork or a leg of pork or ribs or anything that have to do with swine. So if we're talking about Wart hogs, if we're talking about just regular pigs or piglets or whatever else that is a derivative, that whole family, we don't treat them badly. We don't torture them or whatever it is, but we do not partake in eating them, and we don't have them as pets. Muslims would not have a pig as a pet in the house, nor would they raise pigs on their farms. They are completely unacceptable to eat, to consume. One thing that you need to be aware of is that in some cases, some companies use lard, which is the fat of pigs, to preserve some of their other meats. So it's very important that you are aware that any products from swine or pig or wart hogs or whatever it is are haram. So when you go shopping, make sure that bacon or whatever it is not. I would even avoid chips that are flavored with bacon or other animal flavoring, like chicken or beef or whatever. Just avoid that as much as possible. and stick to the cheese flavoring and the sweet chili and whatever it is. Element number 4 is blood. And this is by direct decree from Allah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we are to avoid the consumption of blood. Blood pudding or the only one that I can think of right now is blood pudding. However, if there is anything or any product that you know of that might contain some variant of blood in it, blood sausages, I guess. I believe there is a German, I don't know what it is, a sausage that is made with blood, and this is haram. It is not acceptable to eat. Avoid it as much as possible. Number 5 is alcohol. And it's important to know that if you live in the West, you can't avoid this stuff. You can't avoid finding ingredients like, it was cooked with a certain wine or this. So try as much as possible to read the ingredients for anything that you purchase or anything before you purchase it. So make sure that it wasn't cooked in alcohol, it wasn't marinated in it, it's not a chocolate that contains alcohol, it's not a chocolate that contains elements that might ferment and then eventually become alcoholic. This is very important because the Prophet ﷺ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they told us that this is forbidden to us as Muslims. We are not to consume alcohol, we are not to partake in anything that contains alcohol, even if it's something as little as one of those chocolates. The hadith goes, if a large amount of it is an intoxicant, then a little amount of it is haram. So even if something is a small amount and you don't believe that it will somehow affect you, just leave it, don't consume it, and don't touch it. Alcohol is haram. It is not acceptable for Muslims to consume. Leave it be, avoid that product, and get something else. So that's it. 5 ingredients that any Muslim should avoid if shopping in the West or in any supermarket that is in a non-Muslim country. Thank you for watching. Jazakumullah khair. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and possibly hitting the notification bell if you'd like to hear that whenever we release something new. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.